Hi everybody, Donna here. Oh, no glasses. When I'm working, I don't wear my glasses, and I forgot to put them back on. I just wanted to stop and say hi. And today, what we're going to be working on is a poinsettia, a Christmas poinsettia made with the Poly Burlap. It is a wreath tutorial that I got from Julie's Wreath Boutique, and I will leave a link to that tutorial down in the section below. It uses a poly burlap, and I'm going to insert just a short clip to show you the prep work, because if I did all the prep work and then tried to do all of the wreath, you'd be here for a day and a half. So I'm just going to give you a little upfront clip of what I did to prep for it, and I'll do a voiceover for that. We'll make the wreath, and then I'll be back at the end for a few closing words. Back in a little bit. Okay, here I'm showing you that I have the little foam pieces that you get 2 for $1 at the Dollar Tree, and I'm just going to use one. What I did with it is I painted the outside of it silver, and now I'm going to attach some pipe cleaners to the back of it using some florist pins, and that will be what I will use to attach it to the wreath itself. And you have to put these in sideways because this is a very narrow piece of styrofoam, and everything would come right through if I put them straight in. See, I'm checking and nothing came through to the other side. Okay, and that'll be one of the ties, and we'll just do one more. Now the next thing I'm going to do is just to add a little bit of hot glue to the areas where the pins go in, just as a little extra added safety feature to make sure they stay in. Okay, now I'm going to have to let that dry, and then I can turn it over and complete the front of it. So I'll be right back as soon as it dries. Okay, now I've turned it over, and what I did is took some of these Dollar Tree Christmas balls and pushed them in to make indentations. And I'm going to be putting them around and gluing them in the little holes that I have made. And what I did, and I'll show you in a second, is I took the little hanger tabs off, because the Dollar Tree ornaments, they tend to fall off, and I didn't want to glue the bottom piece onto the foam and then have the ball itself fall out. So I just took them all off to start with. And you can see I'm going to just put several. There's the little things I was telling you that I took off. Okay, so I'm going to go around and put these all around. And it takes a little time for them to set up. And then we'll have to set it aside. This glue gets very, very hot, and I was really concerned that I was going to melt the styrofoam because it's cheap styrofoam, but it seemed to hold up. So I think it's worked out fine. And I have an extra hole here, and I have some tinsel that I can always use and fill in around this at the very end after I get it on the wreath, if I think it needs something else to hide the hole. But I'm not going to put it in right now. I originally had one more ball, but it really was too crowded. That's why there's the extra hole. We have a little sparkly one to go in the middle. And of course you will see it'll move all the balls when I first put it in, but they all come back together. And it'll have to set aside and dry. Now what I'm going to do is to try to just squeeze a little down in between the balls and get them stuck to each other. Or stuck to the middle one anyway. And that just a little bit more to reinforce it. So there you go. That's all squished together. Now I'm just going to put it aside and let it dry, and we'll be back in just a minute. The last thing I have to do as far as the framing goes is to put some pipe cleaners at each of the crossbars, and that is to make a grid in the middle. And the reason I do that is because the mesh, red mesh, is so heavy that it goes beyond the frame, and I need something to tie it to it at the end. You'll see when I get to one of them. So I'm just making a little extra area. It also will give my little styrofoam thing something to sit on when I put it down in the middle of the wreath. So I'm just going to tie these all together and make a little grid in the middle. Okay, you can see this is the burlap that I'm going to be using. I just wanted to show you that the center did dry. It's all nice and firm, and this is the tinsel that I have that I can put in and around it at the end if I think it needs to be covered anymore. So we'll just put that aside, and the mesh I'm using is green, white, and red. The green is a regular poly burlap, and that will be for the leaves, and then the white and the red, this is the white, the green, and then the red is a very thick poly burlap, and I'm going to show you. Here's the white and here's the red together. They're the same size roll, but look at the difference in the width of it. So I'm going to get busy now and cut it, and we'll be ready to start working. Okay, I'm going to cut 5 of the green. This is the leaves, and I have it measured on my mat, and I can see the 11 mark. And what I'm doing is going right in between the lines and trying to follow it all the way down. And that is a little bit of a help in keeping it from fraying. But you have to kind of just go slow and follow that line down. And these, as I said, are cutting these at 11. And then the other two that I use for the leaves, or the regular petals, sorry, will be cut at 10. And that's just so that this will stick out just a little bit further than the other two. Now, of the red is really easy to cut because you can see how big those grids are. They're easy to follow. The red and the white, I'm going to cut 15 of each. I'll just do a couple and then I will move on to the next part and we'll start putting this wreath together. So I think you get the idea. 15 red, 15 white, and 5 green. Be back and we'll start making a wreath. Okay, so now we're ready to roll. We can get set and start working on this. And this is going to be the regular ruffle. I'm going to put in one pipe cleaner. I'm using full-size pipe cleaners because there'll be 3 pieces of burlap on each one. I'm going to start with the green, and these are at 11 because I want them a little longer than the rest of the burlap. You go corner to corner and make a little bow tie. And I'm just going to give it one twist. Going to corner to corner, ruffle it up, make your bow tie. I didn't give that one even one twist. Okay, number 3. I didn't put my tie in. I'm going from the first and the second, but I'm putting it on both sides of that crossbar. Corner to corner, ruffle up, make a bow tie. Oh, there we go. One more, and I'm going to have to move some of this mesh out of the way. Okay, now we're going to start with the white, and I'm going to go back in the same one, corner to corner. Now these are square, these are 10 inches, so they're a little bit okay, and then we're going to do a red, corner to corner. This is quite a ruffle when this one's done. Okay, now I'm going to take these two and just bring them inside the frame and wrap them around. And it just gives a little bit of lift to your piece here. Okay, we'll go on to the next one on the bottom. So we'll do a white. Corner to corner. Lift it up. And a red. This red is very thick. And that's why we have to put that grate in the middle, because this is so thick. When you do the last row, it's further up than the frame is. Okay? Okay, so now I've got two on the bottom. So I'm going to put one in between there on the next level. Not a leaf, but just the two petals. And I probably mentioned that this is a tutorial, another one from Julie's Wreath Boutique. Golly, I have a hard time saying that. Julie's Wreath Boutique. And you should head over to her channel. She does some beautiful work. And I saw this and I said, I gotta have one of these. Now this one, I'm gonna pull it in. And go around inside. And I didn't pull that second one in down at the bottom. I will go do that. I twisted it incorrectly. This one needs to go in. And just get attached in the back here. Okay, so I have two bottoms and one middle. I'm going to go back and do another bottom. Okay, now I have a bottom and a bottom. I'm going to do another middle in between these two. And I'm doing the second and the third for my pipe cleaner. Second and third ring. And the reason I'm going back like this is because you don't have to. You can just do all the bottoms and then all the middles and then all the tops. But you tend to push your fingers around and lay on the ones that you've already done. If you do them all at the same time. So now I've got one in the middle. So now I'm going to put one in the top, in between these two. And that's why we've got this mesh piece here, because I will need something to tie this to. Sorry, I didn't mean to hit you. Okay, so now I've got the middle, and the top. And I'm going to go back to another bottom and start another section. And I'm going to do this other section here, and then I'll come back and we'll see how it's looking. Be right back, so you don't have to watch the whole thing. Well, I got all the way around, and you can see I just need to rearrange a few petals here. And I don't have much of a hole left in the middle here. I'm going to see if I can get that centerpiece in. That ought to be interesting. But that's what I have these little pipe cleaners on here for. And it should go down in the middle. I think that's going to work. It's not really in the middle. Let's see if I can move it a little bit. There. go. Hey, I think it came out all right. And I don't know that I'm even going to add any extra of this in here. I might still. But if you want to see somebody who really knows what they're doing make one of these, head over to Julie's Wreath Boutique and see her make the poinsettia. I think that was something that she did last year. But I think I'm very satisfied with it. For me, it's going to look pretty hanging up in my house. I'm going to go put it on the wall so I can show you what it looks like. Back in a minute. Okay, here we are, hanging on the door. I think it looks beautiful. I love it. Gonna play around with the leaves and spread them out a little bit, but I think it came out beautiful. And it's so full and dimensional. If you come over here, and the middle is really pretty. I might add that silver tinsel and see what it looks like, because I don't have to glue it in, I can just stick it in. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back in just a couple minutes with some parting words. See you in just a second. So what'd you think? I think it came out really great. I'm impressed with it. It's not as good as some of the others I have seen, but I think it looks just fine. And I'm loving it, and I'm going to hang it up in my probably living room, kitchen area, living room, because my living room is done in red and golds, so this will look just nice there. I'd like to get some, I'm going to go look again and see if I can find some blue mesh and try something in the blues with the silver, because my family room tree is decorated in blues and silvers. So thanks for stopping by. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. And if you're new here and would like to subscribe and see what kind of trouble I can get into, I get into it regularly. And I will be back in just a few days with another project. See you then. And until then, everybody play nice now. Bye-bye.